I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Bolingbrook Village Board order. I'd like to start with our pledge to our flag, and we have a fine group of veterans here this evening. Would you gentlemen please come up and lead us to pledge the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. See you in a bit. Next, has approval of minutes to the regular meeting of February 13th. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion trustee Watts, seconded trustee Lawler. Comments, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's approved. And approve the agenda, Mr. Vaughn.
No additions or corrections this evening.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Zarate. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Approving the agenda.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. Appointments of boards and commissions. We have two this evening. The first one is in Arts Council, Ritu Rana and Brian Dennis to the Information Technology Commission. Is there a motion on those appointments?
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Hoagland, second trustee Zarate. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. They're approved. Reports of officers. We have two proclamations this evening. The first is Emergency Severe Weather Preparedness Week. I'd like to ask Tom Fink, our EMA, Emergency Management State Agency Assistant Director, to join me. And I'll let you introduce your associates real quick, and then you can, I'll read the proclamation.
I'm Tom Fink.
Jim Temple.
Jim O'Brien.
Peggy McMillan.
Thank you.
Severe Weather Preparedness Week, Sunday, March 4th through Saturday, March 10th, 2018. Whereas we all know how much destruction and devastation a tornado and other disasters can create and how many lives are lost each year. And whereas the governor of the state of Illinois has requested all municipalities located in Illinois to declare March 4th through March 10th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week. And whereas it is advisable to the citizens of Bolingbrook to become familiar with tornado and disaster preparedness plans in order to promote and maintain community education and awareness. Now therefore, I, Roger Z. Clare, Mayor of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Bolingbrook, will in DuPage County, Illinois, do hereby declare the week of March 4th through the 10th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week in the Village of Bolingbrook, and urge all of our residents to learn as much as they can about preparing for any emergency to prevent a loss of life. Accepting this evening is Tom Fink, Chairman, or Assistant Director of the Emergency Management Association.
Thank you, sir.
There go.
Thank you.
Like to say a few words?
Yes. Myself and my team are going to make just a brief statement. For Americans, preparedness must now account for man-made disasters as well as natural ones. Knowing what to do during an emergency is an important part of being prepared and may make all the difference when seconds count. The Bolingbrook Emergency Management Agency assists the police and fire departments with weather spotting. When the National Weather Service puts out an enhanced, moderate, or high-risk statement, trained Bolingbrook EMA personnel go to several different locations in Bolingbrook to observe weather for any hazardous weather conditions that may occur. Because of this, the Bolingbrook is recognized by the National Weather Service as a storm-ready community. The following preparedness information combined with timely severe weather watches warnings may save your life. If you hear a warning or observe threatening skies, only you can make the decision to seek safety. This could be one of the most important decisions you ever make.
Why worry about severe weather? Lightning. Lightning causes an average of 55 to 60 fatalities and 400 injuries each year. It occurs with all thunderstorms. Costs more than $1 billion in insured losses each year. Flash floods and floods are the #1 cause of deaths associated with thunderstorms, more than 90 fatalities each year. Straight line winds can exceed 125 miles per hour. can cause destruction equal to a tornado. Tornadoes can cause an average of 60 to 65 fatalities and 1,500 injuries each year. It can produce with wind speeds in excess of 200 miles an hour. Can be 1 mile wide and stay on the ground for over 50 miles. The average forward speed of a tornado is 30 miles per hour. It may vary from nearly stationary to 70 miles per hour. Tornadoes may appear nearly transparent until dust and debris are picked up or a cloud forms within the funnel. The average tornado moves from southwest to northeast, but tornadoes can move in any direction and can suddenly change their direction. Hail from these storms can be larger than a softball, 5 inches in diameter, and have been known to severely injure or even kill people.
When conditions are warm, humid, and windy, or skies are threatening, you have to monitor for severe weather watches and warnings by listening to NOAA weather radio or logging onto weather.gov and tuning into your favorite television or radio weather information source. If there's a tornado warning, the outdoor warning sirens, 15 of them all around town, will be set off. If there's a tornado on the ground or a funnel cloud rotation has been spotted and a tornado is imminent, they are only for folks who are outside. They were not designed to be heard by people in the house, asleep, or in offices. For that, you'll need an NOAA weather radio. We have a bunch of these that'll be available in the lobby for purchase afterwards.
$10.
Yeah, for $10.
Be prepared. It's up to you. Each year, many people are killed or seriously injured by tornadoes and severe thunderstorms despite advance warning. Some did not hear the warning, others heard the warning but did not believe it would happen to them. Some of the things you can do to prepare for the unexpected, such as making an emergency supply kit and developing an emergency plan, are the same for both a natural or man-made emergency. Emergency drill should be practiced at your home just as they are practiced at schools and places of employment. March 4th through the 10th is the State of Illinois Severe Weather Preparedness Week with the Illinois statewide test tornado drill on Tuesday, March 6th at 10 a.m. with a backup date March 7th at 10 a.m. Thank you for your time on behalf of the Bolingbrook Emergency Management Agency. It is an honor to serve the great community of Bolingbrook.
Well, thank you all for what you do, and again, you're gonna take those radios out front.
Yep.
They retail for 20 or 30 bucks, so $10 is a great deal. If you don't have one, you should get one. Next, we have St. Baldrick's, Bolingbrook for Kids, accepting Michelle Gantz and Rich Hilliard. And John Sullivan's with us tonight. John, you should come up. People haven't seen you in a while. You gonna take your hat off, John?
My head's cold.
Need to have it again. Proclamation of St. Baldrick's for Kids, March 11th, whereas St. Baldrick's is the world's largest volunteer-driven fundraising nonprofit organization which coordinates worldwide head shaving events that raise money to support children cancer research. Whereas every 3 minutes, another parent is told their child has cancer. Whereas thousands of brave volunteers shave their heads in solidarity for children with cancer while requesting donations and support from family, friends, and local businesses. And whereas at last year's Bolingbrook for Kids event, approximately 250 brave men and women and children had their heads shaved to raise over $133,340. Whereas 2 of the St. Baldrick's groups of shavees are police officers and firefighters, the family-oriented event is hosted at by the Bolingbrook Police and Fire Departments in the Promenade of Bolingbrook. The Bolingbrook for Kids fundraising event will be held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club on Sunday, March 11th, starting at noon. So therefore, I rise to declare Mayor of the Board of Trustees, Village of Bolingbrook, to hereby proclaim Sunday, March 11th, the St. Baldrick's for Kids Day and urge all Bolingbrook residents to stop by the Bolingbrook Golf Club and enjoy a great day and support this very important cause. There's all kinds of opportunities for raffles, auctions, drawings, and it's fun to watch all of it get paid. I'll let you guys talk about it in more detail, but Michelle, good to see you.
Thank you. Great to
There you
see
go.
you. Thank you, Mayor Claire. Just some additional information on St. Baldrick's. St. Baldrick's was started in 1999 when there was a friendly challenge between a colleague in New York City, and the question was posed, what would you do in return for good fortune in business? And the answer was, we're going to shave our heads in return for donations for children with cancer. So in 2000, it started in New York City at Jim Brady's in Manhattan, the annual reinsurance St. Patrick's Day party. Their goal was to shave 17 heads and raise $17,000 by the 17th of the month. It was a success. They shaved 19 heads and raised over $104,000. Fast forward to today, there are head shaving events in the world in excess of 1,400 events that have raised over $230 million. This group here in Bolingbrook has raised over $1.5 million in the last 11 years. So it's a great feat for the small village of Bolingbrook. So we thank everybody for your support. I had the pleasure about 6 years ago of taking over the helm of this event from Sully and Rich, and I've had the pleasure of continuing to have them involved in the event, but the event is very near and dear to my heart. The organization's very near and dear to my heart. Anybody who thinks that they could potentially be immune to a disease like this, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer just weeks before her first birthday, and she battled it for about 2.5 years, and at the age of 3.5 passed away in August of 2010. So Macy is my inspiration and the reason why I get involved in this event. So thank you to the mayor, to the village and the board of trustees, to the promenade, and to all of the local restaurants and stores who donate to our event. Anything else you guys want to say?
Just a couple of things. As Michelle briefly broached on, there's thousands of events worldwide for St. Baldrick's. There's a reason why Bolingbrook is always ranked in the top 30 in the world as far as money that we've raised. And that's because of the people that are in this room, the community, and the support that we get from the mayor, trustees, our elected officials, and the beautiful venue we have out at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. So thank all of you all very much.
One thing I think you need to do, and I posted one of the pictures today with a link, but maybe on our webpage of the police and firefighters and others in the village that maybe are doing this, put their names on the link and say if you'd like to sponsor any of these, have that St. Baldrick's link there. So it's really easy. You just click on it, credit card, you can commit 25, 50, whatever you want in terms of dollars and help this event.
Absolutely. And two of the raffle prizes we have this year are a free ride to school in a police car and a free ride to school in a fire truck for Bolingbrook schools. So that's just two of our raffle prizes, something different this year. We thought it'd be nice for the kids.
But those of you in the audience, yeah, that's great. But those in the audience or others, why don't you somebody collect the names, we'll put them on the webpage so people can pick who they want to sponsor.
Absolutely.
Or you can just sponsor, you don't have to pick anybody for that matter, right?
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, James Farrell back there will take care of it, so work with James, he'll get it put up on a webpage as early as tomorrow.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for what you do.
Now we have a presentation from the VFW, something they've been doing for several years now. I'd like to ask John Babin, along with the other VFW members present this evening, to come forward.
John, it's all yours.
Oh, you don't have the bios? Wait, first of all, name and branch of service.
My name is Angelo Irizarry. I served in the Army and served in Vietnam in 70-71 with the 23rd Infantry Division.
Thank you.
Bobby Dami, United States Army, Vietnam.
Thank you.
Greg Palmer, United States Navy, served in Vietnam from 1968 through 1972.
John.
John Davin, United States Army, retired, served all over the world.
What do you do now with the VFW nationally?
I'm a National Council member, the
And
same
what's
as
next?
the Board of Trustees.
What's next?
I think that's going to be it, and come back and stay in Bolingbrook.
And you.
Me. Larry Shaver, 47-year resident of this wonderful community. United States Marine Corps, Vietnam, 1965 through 66.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
First presentation is for the Police Officer of the Year. Well, I'll let, who's going to, I'm just here for good looks.
Vanna.
Our 2017, I'm sorry, my name is Ken Teppel. I'm the Public Safety Director for the Village of Bolingbrook. So in essence, the police chief and the fire chief. And John contacted me at the end of 2017 and said, hey, it's time to start thinking about our police officer, firefighter, and I also contacted Lucas Rickelman for the Public Services Employee of the Year. So we put it out to our employees and our supervisors that we were looking for nominees and if they could get back to us. And John, so our Police Department 2017 Law Enforcement VFW Officer of the Year is Officer Trinneal Thomas. Officer Thomas? Officer Thomas has been with us for 15 years, and he is a school resource officer currently assigned to Brooks Middle School, and his peers deemed him, you also served in what branch?
Marines, United States Marine Corps.
There you go. So it reads, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Trinneal Thomas in grateful recognition of unyielding adherence to the highest ideals of law enforcement in maintaining, preserving, and protecting the lawful rights of all citizens. Dated today, signed by John Davin. Thank you, Trey.
I just want to thank the Village of Bolingbrook, the Valley View School District, my wife and children. Without the opportunity given to me by the Village of Bolingbrook and the Valley View School District, I would have not had the opportunity to impact the lives of so many people that I've come across in the past 15 years. So I am grateful to our Honorable Mayor, our Public Safety Director, and you good folks out there. So thank you.
And likewise, the call was put out to the fire department, and their nominating committee submitted firefighter paramedic Chris Aliotto, Chris from the fire department, as their 2017. Trini, come on up. Trini Garza, come on up. Trini Garza is the deputy fire chief for the fire department. Certificate reads, Chris, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States Certificate of Appreciation awarded to Chris Aliotto, and special recognition and highest praise for alertness, personal courage, and ever-efficient guardianship of life and property. Signed today's date, John David. Congratulations.
Give me a second, if you wouldn't mind. First of all, let me begin by thanking the members of the Bolingbrook VFW and American Legion for this award. As a member of the Honor Guard, I've had the privilege to stand with these organizations and assist them in their recognition of all veterans at the village's annual Veterans Day and Memorial Day ceremonies. I am deeply honored to be presented with their award tonight. Next, I'd like to thank the members of the Bolingbrook Fire Department. The recipient of this award is selected by the membership of the department. I am humbled that my name would even be offered for consideration, let alone to be chosen to receive it. The men and women of the Bolingbrook Fire Department are some of the most professional and dedicated people I've ever worked with, and I'm very fortunate to have them as my friends and coworkers. Finally, I'd like to thank my family. Having a spouse and a parent that works in public safety isn't the easiest at times. Your continual support and understanding is greatly appreciated in more ways than I could ever express. Once again, thank you to everyone that made this night possible.
And finally, from the Public Services, would Brian Calderon please come up? Bring your family up. The Veterans of Foreign Wars awards this citation to Brian Calderon as an expression of sincere appreciation and full praise for patriotic service rendered to the community.
First, I'd like to thank the VFW for putting this together for us. It's truly an honor to receive this award. Also, I'd like to thank Mayor Claire and the Village Board of Trustees, and also my family for always being there for me. Oh, yeah, this is my wife, Carrie. We'll go in order here. Mason, Hazel, Troy, Jack, and Maddie. Also, to thank you to my Director of Public Services, Lucas Rickelman, Superintendent Ken Enda, and Foreman Steve Miller. Working for the village for the past 15 years has been a pleasure. It's been a great learning experience while also allowing me to provide for my family. Public Services has a great group of men and women with a ton of talent, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Bolingbrook Police Department, the Bolingbrook Fire Department, and our village workers. We, the members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the American Legion, know firsthand what they go through. We've been there. We've done the experience. We've seen it, but we've seen it on a larger scale. And to serve this community the way they do is a great honor and privilege to recognize them. And I thank you all for coming out, and I thank you, Mr. Mayor, trustees, village clerk, for letting us have this opportunity to do it. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John, and appreciate the VFW doing this. But on that same note, and I don't have the details, although I think it's tomorrow night, would you like to come up and give the details? I'm sure there's still, you can still buy a ticket, right? Bill Mayer, Township Supervisors involved, the Exchange Club, have a recognition program themselves tomorrow night.
Thank you, Mayor. The Exchange Club will be having the Police Officer and Firefighter Year Award given out by the Bolingbrook Exchange Club tomorrow night at the Bolingbrook Golf Club at 7 o'clock. I'll be here afterwards if you need a ticket. Otherwise, feel free to call me at 630-673-5522, and I can get you a ticket. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Next, swearing in of two commission members. I'd like to ask Ritu and Rana to please join me, along with Phyllis Meyer, the Chair of the Arts Commission. Ritu is a resident since 2007. Got an MBA and a Master's in Economics from India. And I like her last line is why she wants to be part of this commission. I'm very passionate about arts and kids, and I'd like to be very involved in the Arts Council. Well, we welcome that involvement. So if you would, please step forward. Come on a little closer, man. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Ritu Rana,
Do solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
uphold the Constitution of the United States,
uphold the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the municipal code of the Village of Bolingbrook,
the municipal code of the Village of Bolingbrook,
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
as a member of the Arts Commission
as a member of the Arts Commission
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
in a manner prescribed by law.
and a manner prescribed by law.
Congratulations. There's your official commission. And next, I'd like to ask Brian Dennis to please join me, along with the Chair, Jim Janak, of the Information Technology Commission. Brian and his family have been residents of the village for 13 years, been active in a number of youth sports organizations over the years, serving as a webmaster and administrator for their websites. Brian holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Computer Science from the University of Iowa. He currently works for AbbVie Biopharmaceutical as a business systems consultant, managing the creation of websites to support their digital marketing teams. He's joining his commission. Well, I'll just read what you had to say. I like that. That's in your own words. I want to use my knowledge and IT experience to serve our community, and we appreciate that. So if you would, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Brian Dennis,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
Uphold the Constitution of the United States.
uphold the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois.
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
Municipal Code of the Village of Bolingbrook.
municipal code of the Village of
I
Bolingbrook.
will faithfully discharge my duties
I will faithfully discharge my duties
as a member of the IT Commission
as a member of the IT Commission
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
in a manner prescribed by law.
in a manner prescribed by law.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Couple other things I'd like to comment on. We give out a Citizen of the Year award here every year. Pictures are on the back wall of the various people, citizens male, citizens female, and the family of the year. But I wanted to report to you that we have a non-resident who was given the Citizen of the Year of his home community, that being Woodridge. The Promenade Apartments, which was purchased by Camille Hallam a few years ago, and he's in the process of totally renovating every apartment, redesigning the floor plan, putting in new flooring, wood flooring, granite countertops, new appliances, so on and so forth. They put a balcony on every unit, and the problems at that place have dropped off to almost where it's insignificant. We used to have a lot of problems there, frankly. And he's totally, like I said, he's gone through about 2/3 of the unit. It's about a 5-year program because you just can't shut the place down. You do 100 apartments each year. It's got a clubhouse and a pool facility that's comparable to about any. In fact, that's where his office. But Hanny Awad is very proud of this, and I was found out about it, and he sent me some pictures of it. But he was honored as Outstanding Citizen of the Year by the Village of Woodridge. So if you know Hanny, which you may or may not, but if you happen to see him or run across him, congratulations to him. And we're glad he's in town. He's doing a great job with that complex. I'd also like to mention somebody that you may have read about and you will continue to read about. You know, for years at Bolingbrook High School, in their years they won the state tournament 4 times over a 5 or 6 year period. One of their star players was Morgan Tuck, who went to the University of Connecticut, which is a well-known school for women's basketball. And she started, I believe, every year for 4 years. And she went on, and she's now playing for the Connecticut Suns professional basketball team. I saw her about a month ago. She was in town to watch one of the girls' games here at the high school. So she brought a lot of fame and stardom to Bolingbrook High School and UConn, which is, again, one of the top women's basketball teams in the country. Along with her was Averill Massingale, went to the University of Tennessee, another powerhouse in women's basketball. Both women played the NCAA tournament for women's basketball because those teams are always in the finals. And again, she brought a lot of fame and star to Bolingbrook High School, and there were many, many others. So, but those two in particular really excelled. Well, we got another one in the making. Mia Farrell, a resident, grew up here. Her father is sitting in the back. James Farrell works us for administrative assistant Mia and also at IT. But Mia Farrell she got a full ride scholarship to the University of Chicago. It's pretty impressive. And first of all, it's tough to get in there, let alone get a full ride scholarship. She's going to be a sophomore, correct? Started in the basketball team, been the leading scorer, most valuable player in the conference. She's going to Spain this year to play basketball during the summer. And they have a record of 14-0 in the conference, and you will be seeing University of Chicago in the NCAA playoffs. And look for number 2, Mia Farrell. So congratulations to Mia Farrell. It's quite impressive, and she will be playing, starting, I'm sure, for 4 years with University of Chicago. And who knows what that brings after that. But again, congratulations to Papa Farrell, too. Now, I was asked to make this announcement, and again, I'd like to have this put on the webpage tomorrow. On April 5th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Lacanzic Middle School on Normantown Road in Romeoville, there's going to be a college and career event for all students and parents. And its representatives will be there to discuss paying for and saving for college, which is certainly a challenge, 2- and 4-year colleges, technical and trade schools, armed forces careers, entrepreneurship opportunities. 1997 Bolingbrook High School graduate star football player at Bolingbrook, Anthony Herron, will share about going to Valley View to college and the NFL and his career now in sports broadcasting. The winners of the student video contest will be announced, and there will be door prizes and other things. So again, April 5th, I'm not sure what day of the week that is, but from 6 to 8 p.m. Got children looking about college, be sure and send them. Great opportunity to learn a few things about what it's going to take. And just want to make that announcement, and please, it gets to the webpage tomorrow, James. Okay. By the way, the girls' basketball team at Bolingbrook was, again, outstanding this year. Unfortunately, lost last night in the sectionals to Montini, so they won't be going down state this weekend. And the boys' basketball team is playing tonight, playing Plainfield Central and Lamont Regional. And I've got the scores. They're at the end of the third quarter. And I just got the final score. They won 78-66, so they'll be playing in a sectional game soon. Well, if they get out of the regional, that's not going to be an easy game. But they're ranked in the state of Illinois. Tax receipts, January state income tax, $557,518.04. November 16 state income tax, $630,854.71. 11% decrease. January 2018 sales tax, $2,853,613.65. Corresponding a year ago of $2,518,584.79, or a 13.3% increase in sales tax. That's a very strong January. January 2018 motor fuel tax, $165,973.47, corresponding a year ago of $165,447.81, or 0.3% increase. Bill of approval this evening, Exhibit A, $797,631.51. Exhibit B, $441,485.72. Total of $1,239,117.23. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Zarate, second trustee Lawler. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. First resolution this evening, a resolution approving Riverwoods Creek Restoration Project change order. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Watts, second trustee Jaskowitz. This resolution approves a final balancing change order for work with Nettle Creek Nursery on the Riverwoods Creek Restoration projects. The original contract, the amount of $65,590. The change order is the amount of $31,454, bringing the total contract to $97,044. The village was awarded a state Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity grant in the amount of $63,347.16 for the project and Will County Stormwater Grant of $23,200 for the project. The state grant needs to be reappropriated to be funded. Assuming both grants are funded, which we are sure they will, the village's share for this restoration project out of a total of about 100 will be $10,497. Questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. Our next order is providing the issuance of a not to exceed $44 million of general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2018A at Village of Bolingbrook, Will and DuPage County, Illinois, and providing for the levy and collection of the direct annual tax for the payment of the principal and interest of said bonds. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion trustee Lawler, seconded trustee Zarate. This ordinance authorizes the sale of $44 million in general obligation bonds for the sole purpose of refinancing or refunding existing debt. There is no new money in the issue. In keeping with my pledge to use profits and sale of surplus lands at lots of Americana states and the West Side regional stormwater contributions, the village will be using these monies with the existing fund balances to contribute $4 million toward retiring debt. This prepayment of principal combined with lower interest rates creates a savings of approximately $846,952. The present value savings without the prepayment added in is $4,924,409. A number of financial scenarios were explored, but this is a restructuring plan recommended by the village's financial advisor, bond counsel, and managing underwriter and staff. The savings are estimated until the pricing is scheduled, which is for March 13th. There may be a slight fluctuation, plus or minus, based on the market interest rate adjustments between now and then. Upon completion of the refunding, the village's total long-term debt will be $291,150,000, and the bond's actual ordinance exhibits over 100 pages. If anybody would like to see a copy of it, we'll be more than happy to make you one, but it's a rather complex document. And again, if anybody wants one, we'll be happy to make you one. Questions?
So the savings is basically over a 20-year period, or how's that work?
Are you talking about the new bonds?
Right, the new bond.
Yeah, they're feathered in, attached to the sheet. You can see each of the bond issues, including the 2018, and how that feathers in with the other existing bond issues.
And that huge savings in 2018 is because of the $4 million contribution?
Yeah, that's like prepaying your mortgage.
Right.
So if you look at that chart, you can see the current debt service is the black dots. So you can see by prepaying, if you go down to the light green, all of that has been topped off and reduced.
Okay.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes.
As we've said on many occasions, our village debt it's a good number. It paid for all the infrastructure we're enjoying as a village, our roads, streets, fire stations, public works building, and so forth. And if you were to compare this to your home mortgage, which typically should be no more than 20% of your revenue, should be toward debt service or mortgage. In this particular case, it's about 13% of our annual revenue, so we're well within the same parameters you would have for a home mortgage yourself. And this village should never have to issue another bond again, just paying these off because we put the infrastructure in so we can all enjoy it over the next several years. Next, we have an ordinance amending Chapter 9 of the Municipal Code, licenses regarding smoking materials. Oh, roll call, we had a roll call vote, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Carol looked at me.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but we did.
Next ordinance amending Chapter 9 of the Municipal Code, licenses regarding smoking materials. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second?
Motion trustee Oakland, second trustee Zarate. We have put before us an ordinance which raises the age to buy cigarettes from 18 to 21. I've heard from one tobacco store asking us not to do it because that age group was part of their sales. But Chicago, Naperville, and I know others in the area, Aurora, for example, are all looking to do the same thing in the next several weeks. There's a lot of evidence that smoking materials or smoking starts between 18 and 21 and continues throughout their adult life. And research has shown that if you don't smoke until after 21, the number of people smoking is significantly lower. So this is before you. The ordinance goes into effect, what, July 1?
No, it would go into effect April 1st. We'd need.
April 1st. The tobacco movement is nationwide, aiming at reducing smoking. It costs the government and taxpayers a lot of money to take care of those who do smoke. And there are a number of communities, including Woodridge and Bolingbrook, also planning to do this. Questions?
Is there any research that has shown how effective this has been in those communities as far as lowering the number of people that are 18, 20, and 18, 19, and 20 and smoking?
Yes.
Because they're
I
still
just
going to
said-
be allowed to smoke, is that correct?
The what?
They're still going to be allowed to legally smoke.
Well, I mean, they can, you know, a 12-year-old can drink a beer if they can get a hold of it. An 18-year-old can get a smoke a cigarette if they can get a hold of it. Just they can't purchase it.
But legally, they're not supposed to drink a beer and that, but if legally, they're at 18, they can smoke, is that correct or no?
That is correct. That's state law.
Okay. So that's
This is
not,
just
we're
the
not
purchase.
stopping people from smoking at 18, 19, 20, just so they can't buy material here.
Correct.
Okay. And what's the impact on changing all the signs and information in all the stores and all that on the business owners?
That's why there'll be a notice period before implementation, so they can make whatever changes they need to their public announcement.
Okay, do we know what that cost will entail them, or no?
No.
No, when you got your packet on Friday, had you called us, we would have researched that and had a number for you tonight, but I didn't know you had that question. But I have no idea what that's gonna be. It can't be terribly significant.
Just curious.
But April's had this in place now for, I think, more than a year. And I've talked to the mayor, Joliet. He may be considering it also. I know I've talked to Mayor Irwin and Aurora. He's going to be doing it. And I've talked to a couple other mayors in the south part of DePage who are looking to do it. So I think you're gonna see a movement across the state. And I've run this by several people as I've seen them over the last few weeks, and frankly, nobody seems to have a problem and think it's a good idea. So it's before us now.
I know-
question.
Sure.
I'll just make one comment. I was looking through old emails and popped up. I know that we were asked about this a while back. I don't remember, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and our opinion on it. And I don't think we obviously didn't move at that time, but I was watching CBS, one of the CBS news shows, and they had, there's some studies now with vapor product, and the FDA does not regulate that, and there's some serious concerns about that. So there's a move underway to try to have the FDA regulate vapor similar to tobacco, because high school students are involved with that, and it's not regulated. So it's a good health issue.
Brian, do you have those sheets?
I have them, but no.
There were several statistics that, regarding this, but all the evidence says it reduces smoking by older people once past 21.
This ordinance also does include vaping in the definition of smoking material.
Okay.
Yeah, vaping's a problem in the schools because they're making them now as small as a USB plug, so you can literally conceal it in your hand and smoke it like this without even being seen. So that also is a problem that's being included.
Yeah, that show that I saw had video of students. It disappears right away, but they're doing it in their classrooms. So,
I had a question for Chief Teppel. What are the implications from a department perspective as far as enforcement and regulating this on the streets?
So for this only affects the sales of tobacco products, not the actual possession of the tobacco products. So we traditionally 3 to 4 times a year do a tobacco enforcement checks, and we go in and make sure that they're only selling to the appropriate aged patrons, and also making sure they're checking for IDs and they're following the guidelines of the law. So all this does for us, Trustee Watts, is it just it moves the age from 18 to 21 for us. So it's really absolutely no work for us at all.
Thank you.
We also do alcohol stings
Yes, sir.
every year too, and report those to the state police and others. Any other comment? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. Our last ordinance amending Chapter 13 of the Municipal Code and decreasing Class C from 9 to 8 and increasing Class D from 17 to 18, Taco Diner. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Hoagland, second trustee Watts. Taco Diner, located at 1196 West Boughton Road, adjacent to Panera Bread. They're expanding the restaurant to add more seating. In conjunction with the expansion, the owners requested an upgrade of their liquor license. They currently have a Class C license, which is beer and wine. They would like the Class D license, full service. The ordinance decreased the number of Class C from 9 to 8, number of D license from 17 to 18. And their hours will be, I believe, closing at, 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, correct.
This will not be a, quote, bar. It'll just be a service to the people. They moved into the empty Payless shoe store and hope to be open soon. By the way, Beggar's Pizza officially opens to the public next Monday. It's really going to be nice to have it full. They have lots of things other than pizza. Initially, they're going to be a pizza. They'll be expanding into a full menu shortly thereafter. And they've got 24, 25 of them in Chicagoland. They got a great following. A lot of people say it's the best pizza ever, but I've heard about a home run. I certainly know it's true with Papa's. Home run's good. I've never really had a bad pizza. So.
Well, there's sometimes we've had bad pizzas, but it's,
Brian, did you find it? Yeah, bring that here, please. It's a bit after the fact, but this sheet of statistics I want to quickly share with you. 5 states and nearly 300 municipalities have increased the age to 21 for tobacco sales, including Chicago and Naperville, and others are getting ready to. The percentage of Chicagoans 18 to 20 who reported using cigarettes or e-cigarettes fell 15% in 2015 and another 10% in 2016. According to the National Survey of Drug Use and Health, 95% of adult smokers began smoking before the age of 21, and 80% of all smokers became daily smokers before they turned 21. The Tobacco Control Journal found that after the Boston suburb of Needham raised its age to 18 to 21, teen smoking was cut in half. 230,000 current kids in Illinois who will die prematurely from smoking. Healthcare costs in Illinois caused by smoking are $5.5 billion annually, and the subsequent tax burden is $922 per household. If people don't get hooked by cigarettes at a young age, they generally never start to smoke. Researchers estimated by raising the age to 21, it would lead to a 12% decrease in smoking. 10% of Illinois high schools smoke above the national average of 8%. 26% of Illinois high school students use two cigarettes above the national average of above 11.3. 29.3% of cancer deaths in Illinois are attributed to smoking. The Institute of Medicine's March 2015 report strongly concluded that raising the tobacco age to 21 will have a substantial positive impact on public health and save lives. About 250 kids under the age of 18 became regular smokers each day. 1 in 3 will eventually die as a result. 6% of 10th grade students say it's easy to get cigarettes, monitoring a future study of study done in 2016. There's just a ton of statistics. Obviously, there's no statistics that say you should let people buy cigarettes at 18. It's just a non-starter. So we have now joined that group of 300, and again, I think you're going to see more and more of them. Perhaps it's going to go countrywide or even state law. But can they still smoke at 18, 19? Yes. I'm sure there's 17 and 16-year-olds smoke, but it's going to make it more difficult to get them. Well, I guess that's it, right?
Correct, on the business.
Questions to the audience? Trustee comments, reports. Trustee Zarate.
Thank you, Mayor. H2O and DuPage Township will be hosting their 3-on-3 character counts. It's a co-ed basketball tournament at Brooks Middle School, open to all high school students. This will be this Sunday, March 4th, at Brooks Middle School, 350 Blair Lane in Bolingbrook. Please, I encourage everyone to come out. It's a wonderful time. The kids are great. You know, what I love to see with them is really good team players. And they work so hard on this, H2O and DuPage. They really work so hard to get this together, and the kids love it. It's a great time. There's food. So please come on out on Sunday and come see our kids play, because they're a great team. And that's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to acknowledge the efforts of a Bolingbrook High School parent, Debbie Gillette. Last week, she, in response to the shootings at Parkland High School in Florida, she organized a great effort to come out and show support for the students at Bolingbrook High School. She was hoping that 10 or 15 people may come out, and it turned out to be, we counted 202. And what people did, they came in and put positive and supportive notes on Post-it notes, and then put them all over the school, on each of the lockers and each of the offices. And it was a great effort. I'm going to acknowledge Tom Fink, who was up earlier tonight, got the group in the auditorium afterwards to celebrate the effort. Tom, you've got a great career as a cheerleader, because he led everybody in a cheer of Honor the Raiders and Honor Bolingbrook, the motto of Bolingbrook High School. So Debbie, thank you for organizing the effort. It was a great job and very inspirational, and I know that it got national recognition, and also I think Plainfield East has gone out and done it as well. So great effort by Debbie in organizing that. Secondly, an organization I'm involved with, we're having the Valley View Educational Enrichment Foundation annual dinner and fundraiser, dinner and auctions this Friday night at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. This is an event, we're up over 300 people right now, and look to have more. One of the programs that the mayor mentioned earlier, the College Career Fair on April 5th, is one of the grants that was funded through last year's fundraising efforts. And last year we were able to fund 38 grant programs of $43,000. And this year, the annual dinner and the golf outing are the major fundraising activities that the foundation does. And we base that on funding grant requests for the upcoming school year. So we're popular again. We have 79 grant requests, requesting over $83,000. So the pressure is on us to work with the community and find ways to raise money for that. If you're still looking for tickets, you can go on Eventbrite and look up VVEEF, Annual Dinner and Auction, and you'll be able to buy tickets online there. And lastly, I'm a member of the Bolingbrook Lions Club, and their annual St. Patrick's dinner and dance is going to be at the Levy Center. This is the 25th annual event, and it's a $30 per person fee for the dinner. It's corned beef and cabbage, cooked by some great Lion chefs, and it includes all-you-can-eat corned beef and cabbage, sides and desserts, and they'll have a cash bar. If you want to get tickets, you can contact Eddie Burkell at edgarburkell@yahoo.com, and there's information up on the website. And that's it. Thank you.
Mike, you mentioned tomorrow, Thursday night. Also, it's not necessarily open to the public, but just a comment. Calvin Quarles is being honored at Church of Bolingbrook, 15 years of service in Bolingbrook, and it's going to be a great evening at the Hilton Garden. And Friday night, does the veterans have a fish fry?
Oh, yes.
Tailgaters.
Yes.
I think starting at 5 and goes till 8. And then if you like mac and cheese, Saturday from noon to 2 at New Life Lutheran Church, mac and cheese, and of course then the H2O thing, and you can eat your way through the weekend.
So I would suggest supporting the veterans at tailgaters early on, and then our event is casual at the golf club. The theme is college days, so you can come dressed as you did in college. It's the same clothing if it still fits. Even if it doesn't fit, come on out.
So what are you wearing?
I've got a few outfit changes throughout the night. I did have some clothing that doesn't fit, and I have got that, and then I went and got some clothing that I didn't have in college, so I ordered that and got that to fit my size today, contrary to what I look like in college. So I'll be comfortable and casual. And we always have a great time and great auction items and a lot of fun. And we've got a DJ playing all the favorite songs from the college movies that you've enjoyed over the years.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by congratulating our Public Service Award recipients. They always do a great job and work very hard on a daily basis for our community. So we're very appreciative, and it's great that we have this opportunity to acknowledge and honor them. Also, congratulations to all the new commission members. Always great to bring on new, fresh talent with new, fresh ideas. That's what keeps our community moving. I have a few announcements this evening. First off, we have the Bolingbrook Chamber of Commerce Best of Bolingbrook Business Awards, also known as the Bob Awards. Always a fun and exciting evening. The date is March 8th, 2018. Be at 5:30 p.m. To 9 p.m. It says, join the Bolingbrook Chamber of Commerce for the 2018 Best of Bolingbrook Business Awards as they celebrate the achievements of our local business community and the individuals who help shape our success. Chamber office, you can call 630-226-8420. Tickets are $65 per ticket, and there are still sponsorships available. So hope to see you there. Next, we have part-time job fair. This is taking place Wednesday, March 14th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Ashbury's. There are seasonal jobs as well as year-round jobs. So if you're looking for a job, please take advantage of that. In the theme of Emergency Preparedness Week, we had Tom Fink and his crew up earlier. They are in conjunction with the Rural Domestic Preparedness Consortium. They're putting on the Mobilizing Faith-Based Community Organizations in Preparing for Disaster Training. And that is March 24th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So it's a full day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can contact Tom Fink directly. He's here in the room. If you want to reach him by phone, it's 630-679-3675 or tfink@bolingbrook.com. You can also register at www.ruraltraining.org. So that's it's all about understanding the responsibilities and the authority of each level of government and non-government in the case of a significant emergency. So that's very, very important. So, and finally, we have that time of year. It's early voting. Fountaindale Library is hosting early voting, which starts on Monday, March 5th, and it will go through the 19th. And there's different hours depending on the day. So you can call Fountaindale Library directly at 630-759-2102, and you can always go on fountaindale.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Here's the details for the fish fry at Tailgaters this Friday, March 2nd, being sponsored by the Bolingbrook American Legion. Support your local veterans. Time would be from 5 to 8 p.m. All you can eat fish, fries, and coleslaw, $12. There's also a full menu available, and that's at Tailgaters at 431 West Boughton Road. Also, more fish fries. DuPage Township is working for you right now. Come out for a night of great food and lots of fun. We will be serving a combination platter of flaky white fish, battered fried shrimp, French fries, and coleslaw to round out the feast. $8 whitefish, $9 combo, $10 shrimp, and $4 pizza meal. There will be a cash bar for your convenience, and they have 2 days, Friday, March 9th, and Friday, March 23rd, from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. at 251 Canterbury Lane. Thank you.
Okay. This Saturday, March 3rd, from noon to 2 p.m., the Bolingbrook Rotary Club will host the annual mac and cheese cooking contest. I mentioned that last time as well. It'll be held once again at the New Life Lutheran Church, located off of Bolingbrook Drive, just north of Briarcliff on the west side of the street. Attendees will have the opportunity to taste and vote for the best mac and cheese recipe, as well as sample food from a variety of other local restaurants who have donated food for this event. There will also be other activities that will help the Rotarians raise funds for local projects. Tickets are $10, which you can buy from any Rotarian or at the door. Again, this is Saturday, noon to 2 at New Life Lutheran Church. On Sunday, March 18th, the Bolingbrook and Meta Hospital Foundation is hosting their 5K and half marathon. The starting point is here at Village Hall. In the race, proceeds are going to help the hospital purchase a new portable fetal monitor. So it'd be good if you and they have a walk-run thing on the 5K, and the half marathon, I'm sure they're not gonna let you walk it. So come on out, enjoy it, but have some family fun and be a participant in that. And I want to mention 12-5 Capital, who is part of my business. We're major sponsors for both the mac and cheese and for the hospital foundation. And I say that for a specific reason. And I want to preface my remarks with the fact that I would prefer to work together for the benefit of all our residents and do so in the spirit of cooperation and with little drama. That being said, after last trustee meeting a couple weeks ago, I was accused of blaming local village staff regarding the mistakes in the community guide that all the residents had received. And because apparently my words were misconstrued, I told myself, forget it, let's move on, I'm gonna forget about it. Unfortunately, the day after that last meeting, the Bolingbrook First Party, headed up by the majority of the other elected officials up here, decided it'd be fun to attack and bully me on their Facebook page. And they had the audacity as well to attack the people who ran as candidates on our Bolingbrook United slate. And the election's been over with, so I don't know why they're doing this. I really don't know what they expect to gain from that, except to instill more hate and bitterness within their followers. And I want to elaborate on that. First, I'm trying to figure out why it is so difficult to give credit where credit is due. Prior to almost every village board meeting, we recognize individuals, groups, and volunteers of all kinds. This recognition is well-deserved and appreciated. That being said, for whatever reason, I realize the next election's over a year away, but it's impossible for our mayor, our fellow trustees, and the loyalists of the Bolingbrook First Party to acknowledge other good people who just don't believe in the same political views. If you can't recognize people for doing good, instead of spreading lies about them, just be quiet, be silent. Silence would be a lot better than falsely accusing good people. Their volunteer efforts aren't any less important than anyone else's. At least I don't think so. To illustrate my point, and I believe Terry Ransom is in the audience. First, I want to recognize your hard work, Terry. Terry Ransom is part of the Black History event that took place on February 10th. You may recall Terry ran for trustee on the Bolingbrook United slate, and she placed fourth, just a few votes behind me, but she was ahead of Trustee Watts. When Trustee Brown passed away last year, Trustee Watts was appointed to fill the seat instead of Miss Ransom, who had beaten him in the election. Why do I mention this? Well, during the trustee comments at the last meeting, time was taken to acknowledge each of the organizers for the Black History Month, but Terry's name was left off that list of people who were key in making that event a grand success. Terry has been heavily involved in the Black History Month program for many years now, and she also volunteers within our community in other areas. Terry actually was interviewed on local TV entitled Bridging the Gap by Trustee Lawler and her role in this event. So there was no reason to miss her name, okay? Terry was also instrumental in getting the scholarship program started as part of the Black History program a few years back, and that has become a big part of that program today. I want her to know that her efforts are appreciated not only for the February 10th event, but for all that she does for the Village of Bolingbrook. Okay. The day after the last board meeting, someone from the Bolingbrook First Party also posted a fake news article which I will address in a minute. But one of the commentators on there, and maybe even the author of the fake news article, Michael Carpenzano, apparently asked to go and repeat a lie about the Bolingbrook United slate of candidates, almost to the word of the same misleading statement that Mayor Claire made several meetings ago. Mr. Carpenzano, who knows full well the benefits our village reaps from having good volunteers and involved citizens, slammed Jamie Olson, Terry Ransom, Jackie Trenier, Mary Helen Reyna, and myself by saying all of us have gone into hiding and are in it only for ourselves. He basically repeated what Mayor Clary erroneously stated while defending his appointment of Mr. Watts to the vacant trustee position instead of Terry Ransom. Now, Mr. Joe Giamacco on December 19th stood over at that podium and said, and those present, he said, on that podium and talked to those present to refute the mayor's statement that our entire slate went back into hiding and we do nothing here in the village. He listed numerous groups that members of our previous slate are involved with and volunteer for. I'm asking you to please stop trying to falsely tear down other people for doing a good deed for this village. I doubt that tearing down someone for volunteering is going to win you very many election votes in the next upcoming election. The comment by Carpenzano and others goes on to say that I personally hate the village, and my goal is just to tear it down. To those who really know me, know that that's the farthest from the truth. I have supported this village and tout this village wherever and whenever I can. I have supported the many not-for-profit groups, helped with charity events, and I've served on numerous boards and committees, all for the sake of making my village a better place to live and raise a family. Every person sitting up here knows me full well, and so why do you stoop to this level of nonsense? If you're going to tell lies about me, do something that'll be a little bit harder to prove. The next item I would like to address is the following, and again, I would have let it die and it wasn't for the continuation of the attack the following day. At the end of the last trustee meeting, Deputy Mike Lawler in Bolingbrook First Party said that I owe the village staff an apology for accusing them of making an error and having erroneous information published in the Chamber Community Directory. Not to belabor the point, but I encourage everyone who really cares about that, which I know the Bolingbrook First Party does, or they would have wrote the story about it, and they gave me their whole full Facebook page, and go watch the trustee comment portion of that video, which is on the village website, and see what I actually said. And if you want to really piece it together, along with some thought-provoking comments and questions, check out William Brinkman's Bolingbrook Babbler. He did a great job of splicing all the different videos together. And if you don't already follow him, you can search it on the Bolingbrook Babbler on Facebook, Twitter, or Google it. And you'll be taken to his page and you can look at that video. There's some great satire on there as well. But my goal was not to cast blame, but to direct people to the website, since the information in the directory was currently incorrect. I said it was probably a clerical error, but did not say that it was an error by at the village level, the chamber level, or the printer's level. I thought I chose my words carefully, so I purposely did not offend anybody. So when I was accused of this at the last meeting, I was shocked, and I thought I better go back and watch that video again to see what I did say. How my words were interpreted as blaming specific people, especially village employees, is beyond me. But I guess people will do what they have to do to twist things around so they can make themselves look good. When I discovered the incorrect information was listed in the directory, I brought this up because I wanted the constituents to be able to reach me and other trustees, especially those who are not listed in the booklet page, with any concerns or comments that they may have. It is my job as a member, excuse me, a member of this board to represent all the residents of this village, not just those who are politically active or who work for the village, but everyone. I take my job seriously, and I know each of our village employees do as well. Just so you know, the mistake was a combination of the printer looking at an old letter or grabbing an old letter in the chamber, not properly proofreading the documents, okay? So it wasn't a village error in any way, shape, or form, and I didn't say it was. To any village staff who was offended by my informing residents of this discrepancy, I will repeat it so it's clear. It was not my intention to offend any of you or single anyone out. I merely wanted the residents to have the correct information. Why the Bolingbrook First Party decided to make this a political thing and turn it into an opportunity to bully me on their Facebook page is beyond me. As I said, the day after the meeting, the Bolingbrook First Party decided to follow their national leader and to create a fake news story around this incident and put it on their Facebook page in a malicious attempt to falsely attack me and encourage their followers to do the same. Fortunately, the majority of the followers were smart enough to do their research and realize that this was fake news, and they ignored it. The few gullible ones who went ballistic on this site, calling me all sorts of names, etc., I hope you learn to check things out before you start to like them and add comments to support them. And going forward, especially on the Bolingbrook First Facebook page, start questioning what they publish. What also amazes me that instead of publishing fake news so you could continue to build on the hate and bitterness that you have continued to display since the last election, you could have made yourself stand out and honor a fallen hero who had, by honoring a fallen hero and talking about the fallen police commander that was murdered in Chicago that same day as our board meeting, and the risk of all our officers take each and every day. That did not happen. Even after you published your fake news blurb on Wednesday, a short time later, the Florida school shooting was all over the news. The author of these lies could have very easily stepped forward and said, you know what, let's delete this post. Let's quit stoking the flames of hate, but let's talk about the violence that is spreading through the United States and here in our own backyard. You could have talked about what we are doing here, what we must do here in Bolingbrook to protect our students or honor our first responders. Nope, that did not happen, nor have I seen or heard anything about that on their webpage. I was disappointed to see several other people who I consider community leaders readily like that page and show their support for this fake news without checking it out. Yet some of these same people get livid, and I've seen this and I've read it, when people write misleading information about them, and I just think maybe it's karma. I personally have learned to blow off this stuff as an attack by the Bolingbrook First Party and its members, thinking it will blow over. That is the political game we play. The people who read and support fake news articles will not be influenced by anything I say or anyone that will have a different point of view. Excuse me. But when people start going after my wife, okay? She has nothing to do with this.
Who attacked her?
I'll get to it.
Well, don't make a false accusation.
It's not fault. People, who? She took the attacks on me personally.
About what?
And so what they did is people start questioning her at work on what's wrong with Bob and why is Bob doing this and why is all these things happening. Because apparently some of the staff people there get your alerts when you're Bolingbrook First Party puts this stuff on Facebook. And so if it wasn't for her coming home and being upset, I wouldn't even have known about this, and we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. Because I don't get your Facebook page. I'm not on it, and I don't read it, all right? But she came home extremely upset and was wondering why people were attacking me. Just so you know, words do hurt. You need to stop the bitterness and hatred. The voters have spoken. This is a democratic society. I won my position fair and square. Get over it. Another election is coming up, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of time for all the nasty stuff if you want to start it then. What I do find interesting is a couple people did try to go on the page and make some positive comments. Those were deleted. Those people were kicked off the page. And then those same people were criticized and ridiculed because, oh, they ran away because they couldn't stand the heat. Well, they couldn't stand the heat because you took them off the page. That's not fair. If you want them to have a conversation, you can't delete them, can't censor it. Right now, we still have to work together and represent all the residents of this village and quit playing favorites. If you analyze the vote from the last election, you will readily see that a significant number of our residents are concerned and that their needs and concerns are not being addressed. If they were, the vote would have been overwhelmingly in your favor. It was not. All the races were very close. I encourage all of you to move on and let's start correcting things that need to be improved upon and continue to support the great things that make this village great. Enough said on that. Moving on, I was disappointed that there was no item on the agenda to talk about the trash issue. I know it's still being worked on, but sooner rather than later, we need to get residents involved and informed on the changes that will or will not be taking place when it comes to our trash pickup. If changes are going to take place, they will need to take effect in about 8 weeks. I ask you not to wait until the last minute to bring this to our residents. Finally, I want to publicly address the serious and emotional issues that have been on the minds of many residents, especially since the Stoneman Douglas Mass school shooting a week and a half ago. I have been chastised by my colleagues for trying to involve them in issues that are national issues and told to stop doing this. That these topics don't apply to here in Bolingbrook, like climate change, DACA, and probably the school shootings as well. I'm not sure what the logic is behind that, because the people that live here in Bolingbrook are impacted by the decisions as village board mates, but they're also impacted by the decisions at the state and then at the national level. I thought for sure that possibly this topic would have been on the agenda about gun violence, gun issues, or something that would have been on the agenda in some type of form. It was time we as Americans stopped just offering up thoughts and prayers in response to the shootings. That's nothing new. You've heard that already. It's time we do something, and as elected leaders of Bolingbrook, we have a responsibility to represent Bolingbrook residents and speak out on the issues that make sure our voices are heard. A few days after the attack, a group of over 200 people, like Mr. Lawler, Trustee Lawler mentioned, showed up on Monday night to place Post-it notes with positive thoughts and phrases throughout the high school, encouraging kids to think positive thoughts about themselves and to help each other out. I was there, as well as Trustee Lawler. We, are working together on a local issue. Today, I'm officially asking that this topic be placed on the March 13th, 2018 Village Board agenda, so we can have a public discussion and possibly a vote by the board on a resolution for us to send to our elected leaders in Washington and Springfield, telling them where we stand as a village. Our young people have been leading this effort, and it's time we join them. We should also be looking at our gun laws and seeing if there's anything at all we can do to honor our Constitution and the people's right to bear arms, but lower the risk of the tragedies that have been taking place by allowing assault rifles in the hands of incompetent people. I also think we need to send a message to our state legislators that villages and towns should have the right to establish their own rules and laws when it comes to guns, and to repeal the state law that prevents this from happening. It is my understanding that the state of Illinois has a law that says local ordinances cannot be more restrictive on gun control than what the state has offered up. Maybe we can ask our local state legislators to push for a repeal of this law so we can look at ways to lower the risk of gun violence and the potential risk of children while attending school and beyond. Granted, we do a great job here in Bolingbrook, but you never know what's going to happen the next day. Highland Park did a very successful job of doing this prior to the state passing this law. Other interested parties within our community are willing to come together to have a discussion on this topic. Throwing up their hands and saying we can't change anything is not an answer. We care enough about people's health and safety to pass tougher tobacco laws, but we have no restrictions on our high school kids just walking across the street and buying a gun from one of the local businesses right across the street from the high school. Please put this topic on our agenda for the March meeting. If the village attorney wants to draft a resolution regarding this for consideration at the next meeting, that's fine. If not, I can work on drafting one. There's other people I know that will help out with that. Let me know, but let's not sit on our hands and do nothing. At least tell other elected officials at the state and national level we support them, or do not change and do not change anything, or tell them we want changes. I don't care which way we go, but I think we need to take a stand. We can't sit on our hands. By doing this, we also let our constituents know where we stand as well. Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
That may be the longest trustee report in recorded history. I don't know where to start with what you had to say, Bob. I concur totally. You quit the political games of Joe Giamacco's back there. He and Jamie Giamacco like to weigh in and sarcasm about things we do. You guys stop that. I'll certainly make sure we stop it. You know, the last meeting, there was something on the Facebook page about our, quote, try to have an illegal meeting with the Christmas awards. For 25 plus years, we have people come in before the 8 o'clock board meeting, do the Christmas awards, and if we get done before 8 o'clock, we stop until 8 o'clock to call the official meeting to order. Now, quite honestly, with some people, if they paid attention to what's going on here for the last 25 years, every Christmas the same way. There was never an attempt to have a legal meeting, and I resent the fact that the suggestion was made until you pointed out we would have got away with it. That's just not true. As far as the election a year away, we haven't had a fundraiser. You had one, what, a week or two ago? So you're prepped up for the next election, and that's fine. It's America. You can do what you want. But don't be passing that out. As far as the Black History Month, I don't know when any omission was made, but I have specifically acknowledged Felix George, Bernard Winston, and Anita Canto because they were the founders. Those three were the founders, and they celebrated their 20th anniversary this past Black History Month. So I did point them out. Others have been involved, but they were the originals. There was no attempt to slide anybody on my part. Now, if you're talking about somebody else, fine, it wasn't me. You know, the appointment. After every election, if there's a vacancy, it's up to the majority vote of this board. Nowhere, and I would like to find out anybody, you could say, well, let's appoint one of the people that ran against us. That just doesn't happen. You know that, I know that. You certainly wouldn't have appointed one of the remaining first-party trustees if you guys would have won on Leroy's vacancy. The reality is the vote spread was minimal. We went with quota member of our party, which is what they do in Springfield and what they do in Washington. You get a vacancy, you pick somebody from the same party. Or you pick somebody that you
I wish you'd stop
have
bringing
share.
it up. Bob,
I
I
haven't
wish you
talked
would
to you at
stop.
all. You don't.
Sheldon,
I'm talking to you.
Sheldon,
I wish
please.
you would
Now
stop.
you are.
I wish you would stop.
I don't bring up
The
any.
reality is, we appointed an incumbent, a guy that had been a trustee who lost in April. So, hey, that's just the way it works. You know that. You folks out there know that. And Sheldon was an excellent choice. You know, the issue with a few weeks, one of your first meetings, we had a new staff member, whose charge was in part to forward the bill listing to IT to put on a web page. A new employee. I think you probably knew that. The new employee, and I can't even name the person right now. It didn't get done. It wasn't posted on a web page. It's not legally required to be there, but it didn't get posted. You waited till the board meeting to announce it wasn't posted, so you voted against the bill list. Quite honestly, as a trustee, this applies to everybody, including Carol, or certainly our departments, and I'd like for the staff. If you drive down the road and you see a street light out, call it in. If you see a pothole, call it in. If you see something that wasn't posted on a web page it's supposed to be, call it in. That would have been corrected in 10 minutes. But no, you chose to wait till the board meeting to grandstand and say, there's no bill listing on the web page, so I'm voting against it.
Roger,
Let me
that's
finish.
totally a false statement. Okay.
Well, fine, but that's what happened.
And because when I
Bob,
first
please,
got
I
elected,
listen-
I reached out to you, Roger, and I said, Roger, let's get together, let's meet. You said, Bob, there's no reason for a meeting.
What's
There's
that got
no
to do with
reason
the-
I want to talk to you.
What's that got to do with the bill, what I just said?
Procedure, logistics. I ask you, how should I do? Talk to Jim Bowen. That's what you tell me every
Did you
time.
tell Jim
Talk
what-
to Jim Bowen. And what was I told?
Bob, did I interrupt
you? Go to the.
Did I interrupt you?
Fine. Say what you want.
I'm just saying, that happened. If you have a web page, call me, call Jim, call somebody. Call James, call one of the trustees, send an email, text. We'll get it posted. There was no attempt to hide the bill listing. The gun issue. You mentioned a moment ago, you can walk across the street and buy a gun. First of all, I have talked to Bass Pro, I've talked to the gun range at 355, and I've talked to the owner of the Sterling Knight, I can't think of the name, Sutherland, and Mr. Sutherland owns the pawn shop. That pawn shop has been there for many, many years. It was there when the field across the street was a cornfield. The high school built after it was there. Jerry Lepico, a longtime businessman, had it, and he dealt with guns. Mr. Sutherland continues to. I spoke to Mr. Sutherland 3 times in the last couple of days, and he's agreed to quit dealing in assault rifles, the AR-15, which has become the main gun that people are concerned about. Some people don't want any guns. Some people certainly don't want assault guns. He's agreed to quit dealing in them. At my request, the village's request, because of the issue nationally. I spoke to the other 2 stores also. They both adhere strictly to gun laws. They both have multiple cameras. They both require FOIAs or FOID cards, the gun card. They both restrict sales to 21 and above. One of them even suggested we should raise it to 25. Not we, it's a state and national issue. We can debate it all day we want, but we need to talk to Bertino Tarrant, Natalie Manley, Pat McGuire, and John O'Connor, our state reps and senators, and get them to do that. You're certainly welcome to do that. I've not heard them have any particular position on this issue. Now, maybe it's out there, I just haven't heard it. But they're the ones that control state laws. And of course, talk to our Congressman Bill Foster. I've not seen him weigh in on this issue either. But we can talk about them until hell freezes over, but it comes up to them to make those changes. And I've asked them to make changes and vote on a certain piece of legislation in this village, and I haven't had a lot of success, but that's neither here nor there. We want to work together. I don't like speeches at the end of a meeting and comments about what we did or didn't do. I don't like reading Joe's comments on the webpage, sarcasm about what we did or didn't do. I don't like reading, philosophical pages on how government runs. You don't see any of that from me.
You don't see it from me.
Well, you see it from your party, and you are claiming
And I
one
saw it
time.
from your party. I just saw it from your party
All right,
after the last
I'm saying stop it. We'll stop it. You stop it. Joe, can you stop it?
I don't know what you're making reference to, Roger. Want to keep calling me out, have a conversation with me.
Anyway,
Have a conversation with me.
you know where to find me. You ever called me?
We'll talk afterwards. How about that?
Okay, we can start tonight. So, let's all quit
So
doing it.
maybe what I said did some good. We're talking.
Well, like I said, you know where to find me. I'm here every day, or most every day, all day, and some nights. I could go on too, but I didn't have a copy of your speech. If you would like for me to address some of those issues, I'd like to see copies of that, because I didn't have time to write it all down. I was trying to respond to a couple of them that were appropriate, but the rest of that, in terms of having a community-wide discussion, it certainly shouldn't be restricted to the village. Talk to the school district, the library, talk to all the people, and have a meeting in the gym to talk about it. I don't think anybody wants guns to be out there. We're all in agreement. We'd like to see something done. But that's up to the General Assembly and up to the state, or the U.S. Congress to make those changes.
And all I'm saying is, as a village, we should get together as a team and send that to our state legislators and
Well,
say.
I think they know it. I really think they know it, Bob.
Doesn't hurt.
I think Bill Foster, Nat Manley, and Jennifer Trino Terry, I think they all know that we don't want this happening. We certainly don't want it to happen in Bolingbrook. We have been very strong in this village through police and fire to make sure our schools are well covered. We've had community resource officers forever, and I can guarantee you, if there's shots fired, they won't be out in front of the building. They'll be in the building because they're there all the time. So we're well ahead of the game on that, and we always have been. So I think we're a leader in the area. But as far as having a mentally imbalanced student who gets hold of a gun, that happens. I'm not saying it should or could, or it certainly could, but I don't want it to happen. And that's why I talked to all 3 gun shops since the incident last week. So we're ahead of that game too. And like I said, one of them's already agreed to quit selling assault rifles. I mean, he's not gonna quit selling the other guns, but believe me, it's well documented in what he does. Every serial number's written down. He checks them with the Department of Public Safety, or excuse me, with the Director of Public Safety, the Police Department, to see if any serial number pops up. He does that also with other items too. If somebody walks in and wants to pawn a $1,000 diamond, they check with the police to see if there's anything like that been reported stolen. If there's a gun, they check the serial number to see if there's been any involved in anything. So we're doing what we can. But anyway, motion adjourned.
Well, just one second.
Mayor Claire, will you let me say one thing? I normally
Well-
don't speak out. Bob, 1 second. Deputy Mayor Leroy Brown is laid to rest. Mayor Claire took a lot of time thinking about the appointment, and I would like this subject to be laid to rest only because he included the opinion of Leroy Brown's widow, Pat Brown. Sheldon was mentored by Leroy Brown in many, many areas. So please respect that decision based on Pat Brown. And will you let it rest? I beg you. In Leroy's name, let it go. Sheldon, I had to say that. Mayor Claire, thank you for the time.
Just one response. I know the comments, you may have not directly said that during the meeting. This is from your Facebook page. I was also disappointed that the village could not get it right when it came to promoting itself in the new Bolingbrook Community Directory. That was seen by staff. I don't know where somebody saw it and let staff know, and so it appeared to them, and words are important, so it appeared to them that you were criticizing the village staff in the Facebook page post. that
On
you put there.
my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Bob for Bolingbrook.
Yep. Go back and read the
Go back and look
post.
at that.
Go back and read the post and have a look. That's,
But during my comments here, I did not say it.
Okay.
That's what you referred to.
well, I referred to the fact that they were upset, and I was standing up for them, and I think it's important to make sure we have the information, the complete information, before bringing it up.
That's why I wasn't accusing anybody.
Yeah. Well, on your Facebook page, you did. It came across that way. So I don't know how staff got a hold of that information, but there was a combination of the meeting and they saw this as well.
And like I said, I would have let it die right then and
Yeah,
there.
but that's the
Except,
reason why I
Bo-
brought it up.
The Bolingbrook First Party decided to take it another step lower.
Both parties, Bob, both parties. I mean, this could go on for hours and it's pointless. I mean, last week, a week or so ago, there was a speech made in front of I've told 70 to 100 people, whatever, that maybe we should consider shoveling every sidewalk in town. That's bizarre. That I drive around in my Jaguar. I haven't had a Jaguar in 10 years. So that's the kind of little petty stuff that's going on. I'm saying stop it. You stop it, we'll stop it. Let's work for the people of Bolingbrook and do the people's business and get it in and get it done and make it work. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.